Patriots fans, the NFL draft is finally here, and with it comes a flood of excitement, speculation, and endless possibilities. This is the time of year when every rumor seems like it could be true, and every whisper has the potential to shake up a franchise. But here's the thing, should we really believe everything we see floating around on social media? I mean, come on, let's be honest. Every year we hear about possible trades, surprise picks, and insider info that ends up being completely off the mark. So, before jumping to conclusions, it's worth taking a step back and thinking critically about what actually makes sense for this team. Now, there's been some buzz lately about one specific player on the Patriots roster who could be dangled as trade bait. The idea is simple. Package this player to move up in the draft and grab a higher pick. Maybe even sneak into the end of the first round. That's the rumor, at least. And it makes you wonder, is this a calculated move by the new leadership in New England, or just more smoke and mirrors? Remember, this is a franchise under new direction, a front office that seems committed to reshaping the team based on their vision of the future. That means evaluating who fits their mold, who's expendable, and who's worth building around. But don't get it twisted. Just because a player might be part of trade discussions doesn't mean he doesn't bring value. In fact, this particular player showed real flashes of growth last season, making noticeable strides in a struggling offense. And if that progress continues, it could be a mistake to let him go now. This is where it gets complicated. The player in question is still on his rookie contract, a 4-year deal worth roughly $1 million per year. That's a bargain by NFL standards, especially considering he still has 2 more seasons left on that deal. Financially, it's a team-friendly contract. Production-wise, he's trending upward. That's why the idea of moving him is both intriguing and risky. If the Patriots are serious about jumping from pick number 38 to the back end of the first round, including this player in a deal might be the price. But then the questions start piling up. Where would he go? What kind of return would New England get in exchange? Would it be worth it? Here's the part that's tough to ignore. This player has started to build real chemistry with his quarterback. We're not talking about an elite WR1 connection just yet, but there's something there. And in an offense that's trying to find its rhythm, that matters. Personally, I've seen enough from him to believe he's worth keeping. Sure, he was a 6th round pick, and yes, that kind of draft position often comes with low expectations. But every now and then, you find a gem in those later rounds. This guy might just be one of those cases. He's young, just 22 years old, and still developing, but he's already shown enough glimpses of his potential to at least warrant another season or 2 of evaluation. What worries me is the idea of trading him and replacing him with another young receiver who's essentially a project. If the Patriots draft someone similar, it'll likely be a long-term development play, not an instant upgrade. And that's fine if you're planning for the future. But if this team wants to be competitive now, or at least build around players who are ready to contribute, it seems like a risky gamble. We saw what he did last year. Nearly 600 yards, 3 touchdowns, and over 40 catches. One of those scores came on a beautiful go route that showcased his speed and route running ability. It was clean, precise, and memorable. Plays like that don't just happen. They come from timing, repetition, and trust between the quarterback and receiver. Now, this whole situation brings us to the bigger question. Is this player truly disposable? Should he be viewed as a movable asset just because he was a late round pick? I get it. The NFL is a business. Teams trade players all the time, even guys who have been productive and shown promise. But there's a fine line between making smart roster decisions and giving up on someone too soon, especially when that player is outperforming his contract and hasn't even hit his ceiling yet. There's also the matter of positional value. Wide receiver is one of those spots where depth is critical. Injuries happen, slumps happen, and when they do, having someone you can rely on, even if he's not a superstar, makes all the difference. That's why this trade talk is a bit unsettling. Yes, you might be able to get something decent in return. Maybe even land a late 1st round pick and draft a tackle or another receiver with higher upside. But are you really upgrading the roster or just shuffling the deck and hoping for the best? Let's not forget, this player didn't come out of nowhere. Before joining the Patriots, he was part of a loaded college offense surrounded by other receivers who are now scattered across the NFL. And even in that competitive environment, he stood out. He made plays, he earned his targets, and that experience matters. It's not easy to shine in a crowded room, and he did it. That tells me he's got something worth developing, something that might not show up fully in the box score, but is definitely there on tape. The fact that he's under such a low-cost deal makes it even harder to justify moving on. You're not going to find many guys with his upside and production level at that price. That's why, from where I'm sitting, the smarter move might be to hold on to him, at least for now. Give him another year in the system. Let him grow with the quarterback. Let the offense settle. Because if he breaks out next season, we'll be looking back at this trade talk like, what were we thinking? But hey, that's just one side of the coin. Maybe the front office sees things differently. Maybe they've got a big picture plan we're not fully seeing yet. Maybe they truly believe they can flip this player into a more valuable piece. And if that's the case, I just hope the return is worth it. Because the last thing this team needs is to give away a rising talent for pennies on the dollar. So here we are. The draft is looming. The rumors are swirling and the pressure is mounting. Will the Patriots play it safe or roll the dice? Will they keep building around the guys they already have or try to make a splash by shaking up the board? One thing's for sure, nothing is set in stone, and in New England, change might be coming faster than we think. Now, shifting gears a little bit, let's talk about another pressing need that's been quietly sitting just below the surface for the Patriots' offensive tackle. Depending on how things shake out with the 4th overall pick, New England may very well still need to address this position. And if that happens, there are some serious names in play. These are not just placeholders or depth chart fillers. These are guys who could step in and start from day one, assuming they land in the right situation. There's a list of about 6 prospects who have been consistently popping up in mock drafts and insider circles as potential fits for New England. One of the names that stands out, not necessarily for being the best, but because of the upside. And the question marks is Josh Connolly Jr. out of Oregon. Now, let's be real. He's got some growing to do. The issue with Connolly is not in his pass protection. That part of his game is actually solid. Oregon runs a system that demands precision from its offensive linemen in pass pro. And Connolly has adapted well. Where he needs work is in the run game. There's a lack of refinement, and it's not just a technique thing. It's vision, timing, and overall feel. That's why he's projected to fall just outside the 1st round, maybe early in the 2nd. But when you look at the Patriots' offensive identity, or at least what they want it to be, you realize that a guy like Connolly with proper coaching and development could fit into a long-term rebuild. He may not be an instant impact tackle, but he can absolutely grow into the role. And with some of the veterans getting older or moving on, having a young, moldable player at a premium position is never a bad thing. He's athletic, he's got the frame, and he's shown flashes. It's just a matter of consistency. Then there's Aries Ursary from Minnesota, another interesting name. This dude is raw power and natural strength. You watch him on tape and you see someone who can bulldoze defenders when he locks in. But the word raw really matters here. He's still figuring it out technically. At times, he'll stand too upright. And we all know what happens when linemen lose leverage. The low man wins. That's been true forever. He also struggles against certain pass rush moves, especially the quicker, more agile defenders who can bait him into overcommitting. That said, the foundation is there. You're looking at someone who, with proper refinement, could easily slide into a starting role and be a reliable piece on either side of the line. Ursary may not go in the 1st round, but if he's available at 38, you better believe he'll be on the Patriots' radar. Josh Simmons from Ohio State is another name worth keeping an eye on. Now, Simmons brings versatility to the table. He's played both right and left tackle, and he's done so with a level of athleticism and awareness that you just can't teach. His hand placement, footwork, and spatial instincts are impressive. He has a certain calmness in pass sets that's rare for his age. But with him, the big concern is health. There's been a lingering knee issue, and anytime you're talking about offensive linemen with lower body injuries, alarms go off. Still, his upside is undeniable. If the Patriots medical staff gives him the green light, Simmons might be a steal, especially if he slides into the 2nd round. He's smart, aggressive, and plays with a chip on his shoulder. Everything you want in a young tackle. But here's where things get even more interesting. Will Campbell out of LSU is rising up boards fast, and some believe he could sneak into the top 10. That might sound like a stretch at first, especially when you hear scouts voice concerns about his arm length. But don't let that fool you. Campbell is the real deal. He's got great feet, strong hands, and a mean streak that coaches love. More importantly, he's battle-tested. He's gone up against elite pass rushers in the SEC, guys who are likely to be first or second round picks themselves, and he held his own. That counts for something. That shows he can hang with the best. When you hear a coach say, "I'll trust him on the left side," that means something. Left tackle is no joke. That's your quarterback's blind side. If you can't hold that down, you're not starting in this league. And yes, there's been some chatter about whether the SEC is losing a bit of its dominance, but let's not get carried away. It's still the conference where most NFL starters are cut from. So if Campbell was able to limit sacks and consistently perform against that level of competition, he deserves real consideration. There's a reason more and more scouts are pegging him as a top-tier tackle. Even with the arm length issue, he's proving he belongs. Now, let's talk about Kelvin Banks. This guy might be the cleanest fit of them all. He's already got the body, the technique, and the experience. At 6'5" and around 320 pounds with solid arm length and excellent agility for his size, he looks like someone who's already been in an NFL weight room. What's more impressive is how effortlessly he moves in space. He's got the ability to mirror defenders, reset his feet, and maintain his base, all while adjusting to blitz pickups and combo blocks. That's next level stuff. He's the kind of player who could step in immediately and be your starting left tackle without blinking. The only reason Banks isn't being mentioned in the top 5 more often is because of the depth at quarterback, an edge rusher in this draft class. Otherwise, he'd be a lock. That said, if the Patriots decide to move down or trade back up later in the first, Banks should absolutely be on their list. He's a plug-and-play guy, and that's rare to find at this position. So if we're stacking up these options, it's clear New England has choices, solid ones. It just comes down to what kind of risk they're willing to take. Do they go for the more polished, pro-ready tackle like Banks or Campbell, or do they swing on upside with someone like Connerly or Simmons, hoping they develop into a franchise cornerstone in a year or two? And let's not forget, if the Patriots make a move to trade a current player, possibly even that young wide receiver we talked about earlier, it could directly impact how aggressive they get in targeting one of these linemen. If they do package that player to climb into the late first round, it's almost guaranteed that one of these tackles will be the target. Because at the end of the day, protecting your quarterback has to be priority number one. No matter who's under center, if he's getting hit every other snap, your offense won't move. Your receivers can't make plays, and your season goes nowhere fast. So yeah, the speculation is fun. The mock drafts are fun. But what matters most is execution. The Patriots are in a pivotal moment. They have young talent, cap flexibility, and draft capital. What they choose to do with it in the next few days could define the direction of this team for the next 5 years. Will they stay put? Will they make a move? And more importantly, will they finally start building a sustainable offensive identity? We're about to find out. The draft is knocking, and the Patriots are on the clock. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a surprising twist that sent ripples through the NFL, offensive tackle Colton Miller has officially signed a 3-year deal with the New England Patriots. The move signals a major step in the franchise's ongoing rebuild and reaffirms its commitment to protecting its young quarterbacks and establishing a dominant presence in the trenches. Miller, who spent the entirety of his professional career with the Las Vegas Raiders until now, brings experience, size, and leadership to a Patriots offensive line that has struggled with consistency in recent years. Drafted in the first round of the 2018 NFL Draft, Miller quickly developed into one of the more reliable left tackles in the league, earning praise for his athleticism, technique, and durability. Sources close to the negotiation revealed that New England aggressively pursued Miller once free agency opened, viewing him as a foundational piece. With this signing, the Patriots have taken a firm stance in revamping their offense, especially in the wake of recent changes under center and a shifting AFC East landscape that demands stronger protection against high-powered defenses. Patriots. Head coach Jerod Mayo, now in his first full offseason in charge, emphasized the importance of building through the trenches and securing veterans who set a tone in the locker room. Miller's presence is expected to elevate not only the performance of the offensive line, but also provide a stabilizing force for a team in transition. While financial terms were not immediately disclosed, league insiders suggest the deal places Miller among the top-paid tackles in the conference, underscoring New England's belief in his ability to anchor the blind side for years to come. For the Patriots, this is more than just a roster move. It's a statement. With Colton Miller in the fold, they are not quietly rebuilding, they are loudly reshaping their identity. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.